One of the issues that people have, especially Americans, is the overabundance of consumerism in the world and how at the end of the day it can bite you in the ass. And we've all been a victim of consumerism. I certainly have when I was younger. I learned the true value of money when I started working a job in my teens, and I saw money go in my pocket and go right out of it. And many times it was because I was spending it myself on things that, quite frankly, weren't really worth it. In some cases they were, in some cases they weren't. I think everyone should live life to the fullest. I do think that you should enjoy life because you only live once. However, I think that sometimes the consumerism can get out of hand. And in my previous video that I did about, debt and emergency funds, I talked about how it's usually best before you invest to save up some money in an emergency fund, a liquid emergency fund like a savings account or a money market account, and to, at that point, focus on paying off your debt and then invest. Now, again, not everybody can do this. Obviously, there's roadblocks, but the reason why I wanted to make this video is to kind of talk and give some practical tips on things that you can do to kind of increase how much money you have in your pocket. Okay, this does not necessarily apply to investing, but when you have more money in your pocket, you have more money to invest with and possibly end up earning more money in the long term in the stock market through dividends or through just overall capital gains and growth, obviously. So some people, like for example, you gotta be real disciplined when it comes to impulse spending. The PlayStation 5 came out a few months ago, and a lot of my friends were dying to get the PlayStation 5. Now, I make pretty good money on YouTube to where I can afford to have tons of them. I could buy 10 of them if I wanted to, or more. But I chose not to do it. And the reason for that's not because I don't want a PS5, because at some point I will get a PS5. It's because I don't feel it's necessary to get the PS5 now when I still have so many PS4 games, and hell, even games before PS4 that I want to play and beat. So if I buy a PS5, I know in my head it's going to be sitting there picking up dust. There's not enough quality games on PS5 for, in my opinion, to get the system. There's a few. I'm not saying there's not, but I would like there to be more games out before I can really justify getting the system. And some folks are going on eBay paying thousands for this thing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that is impulse. Like, a lot of times we spend money so we can keep up with everybody else. Everyone else has the new Jordans, so we got to get the new Jordans. Everyone has the new iPhone, so we got to get the new iPhone. And I've never believed in that. And I know that maybe I'm in the minority. Maybe I'm a fool. I don't think I'm a fool, though, especially not when it comes to money, right? Because when I lost everything, when I was homeless back in 2009, it was a reality check. And it made me realize, this can never happen to you again. And it created a lot of, mental blocks. It created a lot of, not mental blocks, it's the wrong term, paranoia, I guess it is. But a money intellect, a way to really focus on having my money work for me and not ever ending up homeless again. So, some things you can do. For example, let's say that you go to Starbucks every day. I know people that go to Starbucks 3 times a day. I'm not kidding. Every latte and every, frappuccino or whatever you order there, it's going to be like $6 to $9. These things are not cheap, okay? You can get a whole meal for that much in some places, a good meal. And all you're getting is you're drinking some caffeine and getting a whole bunch of sugar, which is not good for you, especially if you're overweight. It is not good for you. So maybe consider, instead of going to Starbucks every day of the week, go once a week. Slowly cut down. If you go every day, go 3 times a day. 3 times a week, and then once a week. And you'll be surprised at how much money you have in your pocket. You'll be surprised. Instead of buying a video game right when it comes out, why not wait a year or 6 months and get it on sale? Resident Evil 7, I just beat it on Twitch, and that game's old. It's like 3 years old, right? I bought it for $20 and I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was worth the $20. Same thing with Uncharted 4. God of War is also on sale. There's so many classic games that, they come out for $60, but over time the price goes down. I mean, hell, think about this. When I was a kid, Super Mario Brothers was like $60, $70 for Nintendo. My dad bought it for me, and now that game's free on the Switch if you buy the online Switch thing. Or you can download it and play it a million different ways. You could buy it on Game Boy Advance for like $5. Like, it's wild, yo. So, don't you think in maybe 20 years, Uncharted 4, God of War, Assassin's Creed, all these games are going to be available for like $5, if not less? Think about that. The world is funny like that sometimes. So, being patient sometimes helps. Instead of going out to eat, consider maybe buying food for the house. And I know some of y'all can't cook, and I can't cook that well. But if you learn how to make basic stuff, I learned how to make a ketogenic pizza. I've learned how to make, burgers at home. Invest in like one of those George Foreman grills, especially if you're single. Because with that, you can make chicken, fish, burgers, vegetables. You can make everything on that fucking thing. And you'll save a ton of money doing that. And I know that some of y'all are like, man, going out to eat, the food tastes better. They don't have, they're professionals. Yeah, that's true. But you can learn little tricks here and there on how to season chicken, how to season, steak, whatever, and make it at home. And you could probably make it better than how it is in the restaurant if you practice at it. And it won't even take you that long. These are things you can do to save money. Look for coupons. If you go to Subway all the time, or if you go to, Jack in the Box, whatever you're into, sometimes there are coupons in the mail. Or I think if you go enough, there's also rewards programs too for some of those places. I know Subway has one. And use those rewards programs. You know what I mean? Use them to, get coupons and pay less. All that little bit, every little bit counts, yo. And that change builds up, builds up, builds up. Another good idea is, if you're using cash, have a jar in your house where you put all the change in and just stuff money in there and change. And then at the end of the month, you might have $300, $400 in there, yo. And you're like, hey, where'd I get this money from? Then you can use that money to buy something that you want, or to invest in the stock market. Put it in the bank, open up a brokerage account, boom, you're in. Or just get, save it, whatever you want to do with it. The consumerism is a major problem because we're being flooded with ads on YouTube, on TV. Buy this, buy that, buy jewelry, buy that, this expensive, that. And dude, I bought one pair of Jordans in my entire life. One pair in Chicago. And it's the last pair I will ever buy, no matter how much money I make. Because even though I respect the brand and I think the shoes look cool, I just don't want to pay that much for it. Now, if you're one of those guys who's a sneakerhead who loves collecting Nike and Jordans, that's fine. Go for it. That's your passion, but understand it's an expensive passion. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to give y'all some practical advice on saving money. If you have, for example, I don't know, if you want to buy like the newest smartphone, maybe you should wait until the price goes down a little bit. Maybe you should try and get a deal on it. I don't ever buy the new smartphone. The phone that I have right now, y'all might laugh at me. You think I give a shit? I have a Samsung Galaxy J3, yo, a budget phone, and I have prepaid on it. You think I give a fuck if somebody makes fun of me for that? Ha ha, you don't pay $60 a month for an iPhone. Let's get you an iPhone. I don't give a fuck, bro. You know how much money I'm saving with this? I pay $20 every 3 months for service. And I rarely use this phone because I only use it to text and to do, look up stuff on the internet. Because who really uses the phone anymore? We have this stuff like we have Facebook and WhatsApp and Discord. There's so many ways to talk now without using the actual minutes. You know what I mean? What the hell? And I also have an office number, which is included in my cable package, that I use to really talk for long conversations here in my office at home. So I don't give a shit. You have to kind of be that person who does not have real self-confidence and not give a fuck what people think, bro. You think I fucking go out there and buy designer shirts? I bought a few of them in my life, don't get me wrong. I spent $250 on a suit that I wore for the Broly premiere and for KamehaCon as the host. $250. And that's probably the most I ever spent on one outfit. I'm never going to buy a suit ever again unless I drop so much weight, which I am working on, that I have to get a new suit, which may happen. But outside of that, bro, I go shop at Walmart for t-shirts. Or maybe I get them online when they're on sale. There's tons of cool ass shirts you can get online cheap. Why would you go to fucking Abercrombie and Fitch and those bullshit ass stores that charge you $30 for a shirt or whatever? Fuck off. Fuck you for a t-shirt. And I make really good money on YouTube. And think about it. If I make all this money and I don't spend it, where does that money go? To my investments, to my savings, to my business expenses. That's being, a practical investor. Or being a practical person, really. You could actually go out, here's a good tip for y'all, easy one. Go out and buy a carton of eggs. A cheap carton of eggs. And you've got breakfast at home for the next week. You literally can make 3 eggs, in your pan, scrambled. It's not even that hard to do, bro. Scrambled eggs are the easiest thing you can ever make. Or you can make them fried or however you like it, easy over medium. On a pan, a little ass pan, and you got breakfast for the whole week. Why go and get an Egg McMuffin? Which is not good for you anyways, and yet just having eggs by itself with a little bit of cheese is way better for you. You know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of stuff you can do, man. Don't fall for the consumerism. Don't fall for people saying, hey, get this or buy this. We have a 2-for-1 sale, Unless you're going to buy one of my shirts. You can do that because those are all limited edition. But outside of that, no, seriously. You got to disconnect from that. And then you'll have more money in your pocket, especially in these times when life is very unpredictable, The world is unpredictable. Who the hell would have thought would have had 2020 like that? You know what I'm saying? And I was lucky enough to have a job here on YouTube that I was able to make really good money compared to a lot of my friends who didn't. And I've been able to help them out sometimes too, which I don't talk about, don't brag about it, because then people are going to think that I'm looking for brownie fucking points, which I never do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do what you got to do, and think about it. Look at coupons, like I said. Maybe instead of, if you got a girlfriend, you don't always have to take her out and spend a lot of money on her. You can always just set something up romantic at home. Maybe if you guys cook together, that's super romantic, bro. If you're dating somebody and y'all want to do something that's going to bring y'all together, cook together. Come up with a recipe or something, or look at a recipe, get the ingredients, it'll be cheap, and cook together, Cook together, have a nice dinner, and then you can play hide the sauces later on that night. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Just do that, and she'll appreciate that. It's more romantic if you're cooking together. She could be in the kitchen, you come up behind her, you put your arm around her, give her a little kiss on the neck. They love that shit, bro. What you doing, baby? They love that shit. Just be smooth. There's going to be some virgin in the comment section. That's cringe. That's how you know someone's a virgin, bro. They don't even know what I'm saying is like real solid advice. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many ways to save money. If you're looking for a PC, look for budget parts. Figure out what you want to do with it. Do you want to play games, or do you want to edit on it, or do you want to do streaming? Figure out what the cheapest thing you can get is and get it. And then think about long term. For my current PC, my focus was on space. I got a $7,000 computer. I spent a lot of money on my computer, but it's going to last me 10 years. Because I have all SSD drives. I have 7 terabytes of SSD memory, not even hard drive memory. It's going to last me forever. I've got a GeForce RTX. I've got all kinds of sweet stuff, but the entire purpose of it was I want a PC that will last me a long time. You don't have to pay that much. You can pay $600 for a computer. Really cheap. And still get good benefits. I just wanted one that I can do anything on. And because I worked so hard that I feel like I earned it. And that's something else you can do. Instead of spending money on something right now, why don't you work extra hours to get a second job, do some side gigs, right? Maybe sell some old stuff. And then you kind of earn that big meal, or you create little goals in your head. Like, okay, if I work 10 extra hours, I'm going to go buy that video game. And you'll have more money to where $60 ain't going to be shit, because if you work those extra hours, you're going to make more than 60 most likely, unless you're making not a lot of money at your job. There's all kinds of ways to do it, man. But, just think about these things. Don't fall for the games. Don't fall for the games, Anyways, I hope this helped you. I really do. And thank you for listening. Have a great one.